Hello, welcome back to one of my videos. Something a bit different. I'm not a great lover of this working on modern stuff. I usually prefer doing bits of my old classics and all that here and there, just doing little updates here and there when I can. Its present owner, has currently looked at the brakes for an MOT. He only lives local. He lives less than a mile from the MOT station, and the brakes are bad. The front brakes, one of them is binding. I think it's the other side, not the driver's side. Front, that's not the main issue. Well, it is an issue. I will look on that. It is the rear brakes. Currently, the handbrake is as good as a chocolate fire guard. They're meant to be a pain in the rear to do. This back wheel here, as you can see, got a knuckle bar on it, which is binding bad. Go around the other side. I've loosened the wheel, and again this side is binding bad as well. The handbrake is no good, as I've previously said. I believe there's two sorts of handbrakes on these, but this is the one with the handbrake on the right hand side of the driver's seat. So this is what I'm going to do, find out the problems and share it with you and how it's fixed, and hopefully I can help someone sort out their car in the future. Right, I'll be back in a little while when I've got the wheels off, etc. Right, upon removal, this is what I found. Obviously I'm okay in here. I've got a 4-post ramp, so it's jacked up, but if anyone's doing this at home on a driveway or whatever, you obviously got to jack the car up, but please make sure you put some axle stands on. These are a heavy motor, and the last thing you'd want to do is having it fall on you. So caution is a must, really. Right, on examination, considering this has been looked at by the owner, a local garage which they couldn't figure out the problem, and also a local Citroën specialist or so-called specialist to know. So I'm now going to inspect them, what's going on. Looks like at one point it's had a new caliper here. I think a couple of years old. It's still quite shiny, clean. Do you know what I mean? As you can see, about the best you're going to do. Getting this place, it's a bit like an old cave in this place where I am. So it has had, kid come out again, pads not that long ago. It has stood up for a little while, this car has, so they are going to be a little bit of surface rust here and there. The discs on first inspection look okay. Let's go around to the other side and see what's going on around there. Yeah, I wouldn't say the caliper is really old. Maybe about 3 years, 4 years. He's had it quite a long time, this vehicle. So again, the pads look really good. Discs, bit of rust. I'll see what he wants to do. I don't think the bloke has got a lot of budget left after going to these other places, and they've sort of ripped him off, charging him extortion prices, and still hasn't got the problem, which in this day and age it happens quite a lot. I think most of the places can't be asked to look at them properly or whatever. So my first job is I'm going to try and get the calipers off and see what happens, see if they work or whatever, and go from there. So back soon. Now, looking in the old caliper, I can't really see it very well, but it looks like there's a bit of a, can't get on there, bit of a funny old looking spider in there. Nice. Yeah, it looks like it's waiting to, I can't see it, there you go, see the body in there. I think it looks like it's waiting to have me as I remove the caliper. So if you don't see me again, you know what's happened. I've been poisoned by this tarantula in there, so I'll do my best. I don't want to kill it. I like nature and all that, so I will save it. The first sign, well, first steps of moving the caliper is over here. I'll try to see the bottom bolts or whatever. At the end of the caliper here, or there, you've got a 13mm bolt which is onto this slider here. You're probably going to need a 15mm spanner in there. That's between the caliper, I'll get it right, caliper and this rubber concertina. But straight away noticing on this, I haven't even touched it yet, but if you look, the first sign of dodginess, you see that moving there. So I don't know if that's loose or cross-threaded or what. So it just shows you some incompetent people have actually worked on this car and actually fix it. It's actually dangerous what things like, oh there you go, you can see incy wincy now. Do you know what I mean? Looks like it's going to have me, that does, I tell you. I think it could be one of them false widows, it looks like. Right, I'll get this caliper unbolted and I'll give you another update. Right, so here we go. What I've done is you can see I've undone these two 13mm nuts here. Like I say, you need a 15mm in there to hold them off. There you go, and the other one is what it looks like. Just sort of have a, where is it, a quick examination. Got a lot of old lock threading now or whatever, that'll be cleaned up. So this is, let's try and find this, just try, this bloody car's all fiberglass and you can't stick a magnet to them, light to them. So here it is. As we can see, the caliper is grabbing on there, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a the little spider. I seem to have located, or it's hiding a bit further down. I've had my grandkids down, so they probably been a bit too noisy. So there we go. Got to just give it a little bit of a, try and do this one-handed. I would do it better with two, but just trying to do it for video purposes. So this is quite tight on there. Obviously, if your brakes want binding, that'd be a lot easier to get off than this. So I'm trying to hold the camera as well. Oh, there's a spider. My God, look at the size of that. Whoa, that looks angry, look. Look at that. See, that's going to have me, that is. Look at the size of that. That must be one of them false widows. I'll just give it a little, just try and encourage it to go, sort of thing. Whoa, whoa. She's a booty. That must be her. But yeah, that looks like definitely a false widow. It seemed to have disappeared for now. So yeah, I'll carry on getting this caliper off. Didn't want to kill it or hurt it. That's probably a bit peed off of me moving its home, but so there we go. Caliper now off. Pads fell out. There's a lot of meat left in them. They don't look like they've been roasted too much neither, so they might go out just to save blokes whose they are. Right, so that's what you're left with this. So first thing I'll do, check the sliders, which that one's good, it's all freed off. Let's move the caliper up, check the bottom slider, here we go. No, that's all freed up, so that's all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the disc, get that out of the way with, which I believe is a 12mm spanner. Yep, that's like a locating lug. Doesn't look that old, it's been replaced at some point. So remove the disc. Seemed worse. They were new apparently about 18 months ago, but like the V's been stood up for a while. There's no wear on it, it's actually smooth going up there. So what I'll do now is I'm going to move the caliper carrier, I think, out of the way. Then I can have access to carry the caliper. Have a little clean up, have a look, see what it is. It might be seized calipers or it might be handbrake cable seized, we don't know. But I can't understand so far, nothing hard about this, why Citroën specialists can't sort it out. But I'll strip the other side, get down to the same stage, but I'll just show you doing on this one side, okay? It's all a bit awkward in here, to be fair. I don't like working on French stuff, to be fair. So what I'm going to do is, it could have a possible caliper problem, so I've obviously undone these two bolts here. What I'm going to do is undo the brake pipe nut there, that's like a plastic covering on it. Yeah, and take the handbrake cable from here, which I think is just like a lever down. If the caliper ain't seized, push that down, pop it out through the bottom. Oh God, this is so bad, this viewing from here, down here. It's looking like probably it could be the caliper issue, or it could be the cable as well, or both. And then I'm going to do obviously the brake pipe there, which is 11mm. That is. So I'm going to do that with 11mm. Pop that out there, which. See how well this goes. God, this is so hard doing that, and because I'm trying to watch it through the camera, I shouldn't be, I should be just watching it through the. It's making it so awkward. I should get a proper camera really. There we go. That's popped off. That wasn't too hard. So that's released the cable from there. I'm going to do the 11mm there. I'll come back in a minute when the caliper is removed, and I can show you exactly where everything goes. Right, the caliper is removed. Obviously this is where the cable went onto. The cable did come through this hole down here, down there, which this is the cable here. I'm trying to focus in, can't focus. Which you see these little bits on here, these splay out. They do. There's 3 of them, and they splayed out. And what you've got to do is when they push through the hole down here, they open up, and you've got to squeeze them in, and then pull at the same time. I use a long nosed pair of pliers, like on there sort of thing, squeezed, and then underneath that little lip there, I just prised and twisted, and that pulled out. It was a little bit of a chore, but it wasn't that hard. But what you got to remember is when you take the caliper off, brake fluid comes out there. There's a hose here, there, but that feels like it's a braided hose, so don't clamp on that because you'll flatten it. That goes on there, like that. You know what I mean? So what I've done, gone underneath there where the axle is, comes over from the axle, and that's a rubber hose there, flexi. So that is where I've clamped it off. Right, I'm now going to get the other caliper off. I shall be back soon. I won't do an explanation, but it's exactly going to be the same as this. That is okay, so back soon. So under further examination, here's the cables, 1 links. Put it out of the way. I had to move the motor off the ramp the other day. The frigging light in this place, I tell you, it's terrible. So this is the passenger side cable. It goes through there, hooks onto the caliper, hooks up onto this location here, goes through here, back round. Is the main cable that pulls from the linkage, from the main cable that pulls from the handbrake lever. As you can see, the lever cable is actually fine. I can't really demonstrate now on this, but this cable is really tight inside the sleeve. It does move, but feels really tight, and like dragging it is. The driver side cable is here. Like I said, I had to take it off the ramp and move it the other day. Threads up there, comes round, and it is the one with the main adjuster on it up here. That cable also feels very dry as well, so it obviously does need the cables. The calipers feel free to me on the handbrake linkage. The pistons pull in and out, wind in and out right. I'll get adjustable on the caliper, and the levers move fine. So I would quite happily say this is the problem with the handbrake. I don't know what's happened here, what someone's done in the past, but I'll investigate on that. I don't know, but I think that's just there just to keep them together. So I'll have a look. It might get that back again if it's perfectly amicable, which is looks right to me. So back shortly with a update. Well, the driver side cable I got off. This is the best I can do because I'm just using my phone, but it is quite seized. That's dragging quite hard. That is trying to get through. As you can see, it's not the best of pictures, but she's quite stiff. That is. I'm struggling to get that through. The passenger side one that goes around the other side of the car is the worst one. It's definitely the problem. I can't pull that. That's really So that's just pulling slightly. I just made it move a fraction, but that is definitely the problem with this motor. I did a bit of research on these, and apparently you have to change these cables every couple of years because they're just such a crap design, and they just seize up. Getting the cable off there was easy enough. Undo the clip. I think the clip was just on there just to stop them from moving about like that, if you know what I mean, when they're slack. I don't think it would need it on there, because once it's in, it's in. I think it's just because the bloke and these other garages were having problems with the cable. It's pretty simple enough on there, this floating adjuster. So I'm now going to remove them couple of little bits and then get the cable off, and I'll get the new cable threaded through. Back onto the brakes now, the rear calipers. I've checked this caliper out, it works fine. I managed to do this with a pair of these, but the calipers wind back in nicely with a long nose pair of pliers. As you can see, nice and free, so I've got no problem there. I suppose this is going to be a bit where the controversy is going to be. I've cleaned up the caliper carriers and the discs. I've given them, can't really see because it's freaking terrible in here. I'll give up the discs are clean. So you can see I've cleaned the caliper carriers out. This is where the controversy is. I use copper slip. I've been repairing cars now for 35 years, and I was taught to use copper slip, and I'll always use copper slip, but people say, oh, that's not the right stuff to use now, but it's always worked in my time, so that is how I do them. Right, now I'm going to fit the calipers, and then I'll jump back onto the handbrake cable side of it. So right, the handbrake cable threads through here. It clips on there, on these cables that I've got. I don't know about any other ones, but I've had to reuse all the bits that hold them all up, so it comes down here, goes up through there, where the shiny bit is. Bloody hell, I can't see shit. Where the shiny bit is, there, that clearly clicks in. You got to pull it until it does, and then have a bit over there. Well, there you go. You can see the clear shiny bit there. Let's put a torch on it, so it feeds through there. Focus. There we go. Yeah, clearly clips in there, hooks up onto there. So this is the driver's side done. It's all connected at the front, so I'm now going to put the other side together quickly. Right, there we go, we have it now. Handbrake cable is done. I say it, that links in there to the front pedal, to the front of the cable, and then obviously you've got the adjuster at the top. These adjusters work against each other, these cables do, so when you tighten that one, that actually pulls that away, so it adjusts them. It's very strange, it's like a swinging adjuster, but I say as you tighten that one, that pulls that one away, and that gets them level. Some French idea that is, but obviously it worked. Important thing is, make sure you get them supports in place, threaded through again here, and you have two as you go in there, so they keep it clearance, because the clearance in massive space in there. There's probably half an inch or 12mm gap between the two, but my handbrake's pulling on 3 now. I can't honestly understand why a local garage and a independent specialist garage couldn't figure that out. You don't need that cable tie that was round there previously. I don't know why they're paranoid, but there's no way that could say, you've got to have that up in a 45-degree angle, 90-degree angle, sorry, for that to come out. There's no plate in there for that to come out, so I think that was just a bit paranoia. But as you can see, so I get up there, as that pulls against that cable, which then transfers to that cable, and it pulls them both together. That was really easy to me. So this is going to conclude my Citroën C8 brake problem for the MOT for the customer. I am going to presume he is very happy about what I've achieved. Locally the parts would have cost £57 for the 2 cables. The front cable here, which is a short one, was fine. They're £8, but I managed to do a bit of an eBay special and I got the 2 cables for £31. So again, that is a savings which I'll pass on. I'm not into ripping people off or anything. So that is it. I hope this helps people in the future with a Citroën C8 handbrake. Thank you for watching.